Hey, what is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? It is your boy, Quad_Nemesis here, and today we're going to be talking about the newest Call of Duty, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Now, at the time of this recording, the game came out 6 days ago, and honestly, I've been playing it every day since launch, and I'm roughly level 40 something. I haven't played it today. I've just been looking over, the gameplay I'm going to use, but honestly, the game is overall very positive, and it has been one of my favorite Call of Duty releases in the past several years, and it's kind of reignited my love for this game quite a lot because I thought the last two, Vanguard and Cold War, I thought they were okay, with Cold War being the slightly better one because it's riding off like the Black Ops, the Treyarch and the Black Ops IP and everything. But honestly, this game blows both of those ones out of the water completely in every single aspect, so we're going to be talking about those today. Now, before we get into the meat of the review, this is only going to be for the multiplayer because I consider the campaign a completely separate entity, so I'm going to make a completely different video about that once I've actually played through the entire campaign on several game modes. So that's one's going to take a while, but I wanted to quickly get this one out because I've been playing it, and while everything's still fresh in my mind, I want to get all my feelings out on there. Now, the pros are very good pros, obviously, and the cons are more just minor annoyances. So overall, this game is still, to me, 9 out of 10, very highly praised for me. It's one of the only Call of Duty games that I would actually, recommend people to buy at full price because I genuinely think it's worth it, and I am a cheap bastard. So, and can be very critical when it comes to where I spend my money on games. So, hope that means something. Now, to get into the pros, the game looks and sounds absolutely incredible. Since this time around, I've got a pretty decent PC, so that could be a part of it. Now, but honestly, I haven't really tinkered with the settings that much, so I'm pretty sure I'm running on like high settings, high to ultra, and the game just looks really good. I haven't witnessed anything weird visually, so that's absolutely amazing. Leveling up doesn't feel like a bad grind. What I mean by that is the game, every time you level up, I feel like you're always accomplishing something or unlocking something or getting something, which for someone like me really makes me want to play the game more because I feel like after doing something, I get something that's worthwhile out of it. Like every time I level up my gun, you get new attachments, and every time you level up your character, you're getting new equipment, you're getting new lethal and tactical equipment, getting some more guns. So I do think this game is, one where it doesn't feel like a slog to get things or it takes ages to get things. I feel like you're getting things very consistently. Now, this is my favorite part of this game so far, is that the camos are not that annoying to get. What I mean by that is basically every gun you get 4 camos to unlock. You get 4 camo challenges to unlock 4 different camos, plus an extra challenge to get gold, which you don't have to go for, but I'm trying to unlock all the camos this year around, so I'm sure this would change. But basically, the camo you unlock is, you only have to do it on that gun, and then you can basically just equip it to any other gun you want, which I think is a really, really good idea and cuts out a lot of the tedious stuff when it comes to getting camos in previous games, because you'd essentially have to re-unlock the same camo for every single gun that you tried to go for gold on. So I think that cuts out a lot of the tedious nature of getting camos themselves, which for me, and I think for a lot of players, I think is absolutely amazing and kind of increases the incentive because you don't have to unlock that camo again. You've got it. Once you've done the challenge, you've got it. And the challenges so far have been varying in difficulty a little bit, but honestly, I feel like nothing feels too intense or too difficult. I've always managed to get a camo within 2 or 3 games max, so honestly I feel like I can unlock things pretty consistently, which will make me want to play the game a lot more. Now, the cons aren't the biggest deals in the world. One of them is just something I think is a little bit weird about the game, but it's in game breaking at all and doesn't make me want to not play the game. And the second one is just something I personally had to deal with, and as far as I know, it isn't a problem with a lot of players. So that's why I'm really kind of brushing off, is they'll probably fix it in an update or something. Basically, the first con is that the way you get the new guns themselves is weird. Like, instead of leveling up your character to a certain level, then you just get the gun. You have to get like certain guns to other levels. For example, to get one gun, you have to get like a different one to like level 13 or something, which for me, I find personally just a bit weird, because I didn't even notice that until I was around level 35 or so, and I thought I was unlocking all these guns, but it turns out you have to play other guns to get those other guns. So for me, that was just a bit jarring to catch off, but it's not the worst thing in the world, to be honest, and I guess it does encourage you to have to play with most guns in the game before settling into what you like. So it's just encouraging a wider use of guns in the game, because with Call of Duty players, I've noticed in a lot of years, once they pick a gun they like, they stick to it. I've been guilty of this. You know, everyone does it. Everyone has a gun that they kick ass with and they just use it constantly. So I'm guessing for those who want to go the extra mile, it forces you to use a variety of guns in order to find the one that you like. So, you know, I think that's good. Also, one con is that on release, this is just probably just a, you know, pre-patch thing, but the starter guns that you get at the beginning were way too overpowered. Like the M4, that assault rifle, you didn't really need to use anything else to level up quickly, but I'm sure they'll, you know, do the balancing and the tweaking as the game goes on, because there isn't going to be another COD for 2 years, so they have plenty of time to change the balancing and change everything about it. So I'm sure they'll eventually, you know, get to a good consensus of what the gun should feel like, and everything should have a fair enough shot to use. Now, the last con we're going to be talking about, this is the one that I've only personally experienced, so I don't think it's that bad. I've had the game crash on me at random intervals for no reason. It's not enough to the point where I like don't want to turn the game on and try it again, but it certainly annoyed me quite a bit, where I've been like playing in the middle of a game, I'm getting into it, I'm capturing the hard point or whatever, and I've had the game just crash on me without any, you know, signs of stopping, no slowed frames, no nothing. It's just crashed, which I have found quite annoying, you know, and of course as anyone would, because they just don't want their, you know, brand new game just crashing on them when it's been working fine before. Luckily, I think there has been like a couple of smaller updates which has tweaked the issue a little bit, but it is something I did experience, and looking it up, it didn't seem like a problem with a lot of players. But of course, I don't think that'll really be much of an issue going forward. Now, that's the time we've got today. Overall, I think this game is 100% worth the full price. It is genuinely one of the best Call of Duties I have played in a long time. Beats any other of the newer CODs that are out there. And I think that if they continue to balance and tweak the game in small ways, this will be a very successful game for the next 2 years. Thank you for paying attention. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.